Welcome back, my lovely friends. Welcome back to Mixology Hacks. It's nice to see you, and it feels like it's been forever. I mean, it's kind of just a few days late from the 2-week schedule, but I've done so many things during these 2 weeks, it feels like it's been a month. So I've been to Scotland. I enjoy wonderful time with the family, and yeah, I've done some updates on the website. I've done some updates on the Bartender's Lounge community. And I've done some updates on my Patreon page. But for all of these, we're gonna talk a little bit later. Today we're doing a persimmon syrup. Yes, I was thinking about, obviously, around Halloween, everybody just gone crazy with the pumpkin spice, which is nothing wrong with that. But we often forget there is more things out there than the pumpkins to use in the autumn season, or why not in the winter season. So I'm kind of gonna skip the pumpkins for this year, but we're gonna go with the persimmons. And it's a wonderful thing to use. We call it in Bulgaria, by the way, where I'm from, we call it the apple from heaven. I don't know why. I have to research who came with this name. But as you know it, it's a persimmons, okay? So if you're ready, my lovely mixology hackers, let's jump into it to show you the ingredients, the equipment, and as usual, walk you through step by step how to prepare the persimmon syrup, which I make in my house. Okay, before I show you the ingredients and every equipment, which there are not many equipments, the ingredients it's a little bit more, but you know how it is on Mixology Hacks. I like to spice things up. It's not just the simplicity of put fruit, sugar and water, boil it, bottle it and call it syrup. I like to be a little bit more complicated. And why not? Why not use a little bit more ingredients to create something more sophisticated and different than anybody else who's doing this, okay? And that's the case today. So, okay, the first ingredient for our syrup, of course, is the persimmons. Now I'm gonna use probably just 2 of them, even I have 3 in front of me, but hey, 1 it's for the picture, and that's how they come from the shop, okay? 3 in a pack. If you wanna use 3, that's fair enough, use 3 of them. For me, I'm just gonna use 2, because I don't wanna create like a massive amount of the syrup, so 2 of them it's enough. That's first ingredient, of course, main ingredient. Second ingredient, it's golden sugar. So golden sugar or demerara sugar, anything around this color, not a white sugar, okay, not a crystal sugar. We're not using it today. We have a golden fruit. We're gonna help with the color, and of course the golden sugar or demerara, it will introduce a little bit of extra caramel and toffee flavor to the syrup. Since it's autumn, winter, we want these flavors to be in. When the white sugar will basically introduce just sweetness, nothing else. We want this extra flavor from the unrefined sugar, okay? Then we have a little extra with the coconut organic sugar. Just a little bit of it, but this is gonna kind of spice up and funk the syrup, if that's a kind of a way to do it. We usually say funk flavor for aromas, but hey, it's a tropical thing, so why not? We're gonna funk it up, okay? When I was mentioning rum, yes, we are going to use rum. I'll be using spice rum, whatever I have, cargo cooled here. I like this because it's a dry spice rum, so it doesn't introduce that much sweetness, but introducing a little bit dryness. It will help with the preservation, and I'm kind of liking the trend now, start using spirit to a syrups, because end of the day, like, bear with me here, if you are creating syrup which you're purely going to use in a non-alcoholic cocktails, or just to use it with the mixers, or you want to share it with your kids, please don't use any alcohol in it, okay? But since this channel is to create mixology ingredients, which we are going to use in a cocktails, the introduction of spirit inside in the syrup, it's absolutely fine, and it also help you with the shelf life. To extend it more, it will introduce another extra layer of flavor, so why not? Just a quick tip here, I will not use it today, but you can also add a little bit of like a control to the syrup if you want a little bit of this orange flavor to it. That is just a tip. I'll be not doing it today because today we stick with the rum only, okay? Then you need 100 milliliter of water. I'm running out of space as usual. I will be using a little bit of, let's put this one here, a little bit of honey. So just gonna pop a little bit more sweetness to the sugar, but it's a different sweetness. You want this lovely flavor of the honey to shine through with the persimmons. A pinch of, just a pinch of salt. This is a sea salt flakes, so just a little pinch. Don't know where to put it. I can't put it anywhere. So yeah, salt. Let's put it here. A little bit of vanilla paste, vanilla bean paste. You can use vanilla extract if you struggle to find the vanilla paste. You can use fresh vanilla if you want. I have fresh vanilla here, but because I'm making a really small amount, it's not gonna be a big batch. There's no point wasting my vanilla pots for a very small batch, okay? And final two ingredients, which I don't know, probably gonna chuck them here on top. So you have a half a stick of cinnamon and you have 3 whole cloves. That's all. So this is the spice in the syrup. This is gonna bring this winter flavor to the syrup. And of course, it's gonna introduce a little bit more complexity to the syrup. So this is the ingredients. Let me show you the equipment and then we're gonna start cooking. So equipment wise, of course, 3 of these metal pots. Like I say always, I prefer to use the metal pots because they're easy to clean, easy to maintain, very, very, very functional in a kitchen or when you're preparing things. It's very safe because it's not a glass. You don't have the kind of the stress of breaking it down or anything happen. So yeah, I'll leave some link in the description to all equipment as always. So don't worry about it. If you want to see some suggestions from me, you don't have to use these links, but if you use them, as always, you know, they're affiliates from Amazon. So I get a little share, not from you, but from actual people who sell these things, okay? Then you need a scale, of course, because we want to measure the sugar, the fruit, and make the right amendments to the recipe. You're gonna need a cutting board, of course, any cutting board, a knife, which I lost my knife. I'm very worried because my proper knife for what I'm using here on the channel is gone, and that's worry because where is gone in the house? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I got a knife. And finally, to cook everything, of course, we are going to do it my favorite way. We're gonna do it with a sous vide, okay? So that's what we need. Of course, I'm not gonna walk you through boiling it for an hour, but that's what you need. Now, just a quick one. If you do not have sous vide, you need a zip bag. You need a bag, which obviously we're gonna vacuum the whole thing. But if you don't have sous vide, and if you can find zip bags from the shop, which it's like a zip bags for the freezer, you can do the same things in a pot on your stove in a very low heat, so you can control it and pretty much do the same thing. So if you don't have sous vide, it's fine. But as I always mention, they're very affordable these days. They're not expensive. They're a really nice addition to your home, not just for the mixology, but for cooking, for anything. So link in the description, again, for some suggestions. And this is pretty much. Now, with this syrup, I want to create clear version. What's wrong with me? I don't know. I always create want to create clear versions. But what we're gonna do here, we are going to cook in the water bath the syrup with a very little amount of water, of course, and the rum, which is gonna extract all the flavor from the persimmons. And then we are going to strain that, filter it, and bottle it. However, you have the fruits left. And when it comes to this, you can blend the fruits with extra sugar and create a more like a puree, which you can use in some kind of a tiki cocktails. And I don't know yet, to be honest. I didn't bring the blender, but I may do that. I'll decide down the road on the video if I'm going to do that. Probably it's gonna happen. But if I do that, oh, you're gonna need a blender as well, okay? We'll figure it out. Anyway, for now, before I start cooking, I want to just very quickly recap. My website, just shake or stir. Obviously, I haven't created Mixology Hacks website, and I think I may not do. I think I may just keep it all together. But however, there's a section on the website which includes all the videos and everything. Also, the Bartenders Lounge community, don't forget you can join. There's quite an interesting community, to be honest. We have some members who are not active at all, and I'm gonna deal with that, but we have a very active members which share fantastic recipes, what they make at home, what they create, and it's a beautiful inspiration to the fact that I'm thinking of presenting a few episodes with recipes from the community because they have some wonderful ideas out there. So if you want to join, check the link in the description. It's free to join. It's absolutely fine. You don't have to pay anything. All you need to do is just sign up. However, if you want to support the channel and the community, because obviously I pay for this community, but that doesn't matter. It's my decision. But if you want to support it, I have a Patreon page where you can go and support. If you decide, there's a few different tiers where you can choose what is affordable for you, and you can decide and support me this way so I can keep the community free forever. Now I'm having some issues with spammers and things like that, which originally I was thinking to put a $1 or something on the community, so I kind of stopped these bots and spammers, but for now I'll keep it free and I'll deal with them manually. However, I really like to see you there. If you haven't checked the community yet, go check the link in the description, the Bartenders Lounge. It's a fantastic place to be. Meet other people, share recipe, exchange ideas, ask questions, have access to me on a chat. So yeah, it's a wonderful place. And of course, if you want to support, catch up on the Patreon link. Also, I am releasing official merch as I done with Just Shake or Stir, but with Mixology Hacks, and I'll be running a very nice, lovely discounts during November because it's Black Friday is coming and all this kind of stuff. So if you want to merch yourself with something, another way to support the channel, the community, and everything happening. Okay, so I appreciate, even if you're just watching here, like, share, and comment. It's doing fantastic job. So by the way, we are nearly monetized. Yeah, probably it's gonna happen very shortly, thanks to you. So thank you so much for being such a supportive community here. And of course, I wanna see you in the Bartender Lounge as well. But for now, no more chatting. Let's crack on and get these persimmons cooked so we make a fabulous syrup to use in your cocktails. Okay, as I say, I'm gonna use 2 of them. So I'm gonna get this one. So mine is quite ripe because when they came out in the shop, so there's a first pot for your dirty stuff. So when they came in the shop, there was pretty much like a, not green, but there was hard. And that was 2 weeks ago. So I bought them just so I can wait for them to kind of ripe. Yeah, as you can see, this one is start getting a little bit black inside. We'll see when we cut it now what's the situation. Oh, it's not that bad. It's just a little bit on the edge. Nothing wrong with it. We're gonna use it as it is. So cut your persimmons in half. Look how nice it is. And then, of course, let's put it here on the side. If you want to extract more of the flavor, as I always say, cut them in cubes. Yeah, just the cubes because it's gonna help the sugar to go through the fruit and extract any flavor. And of course, it'll be easier for you to blend them after as well if you decide to use a blender for a later stage to create more like a puree. If you put a full fruit inside in the zip bag or in the sous vide, it may not extract as much flavor as you wish. Okay, so we have it cut. Now, next step, fairly easy. It's fairly easy, this syrup, you know what I mean? I know it's look like plenty of ingredients, which it is, But it's quite nice to make it. And if you want to have some fun with your kids while you're making it, why not? Just get them involved. Just tell them about the rum. I mean, if you use the rum, tell them this is a maple syrup or something. Yeah, don't tell them it's rum. Okay. So I'm gonna grab my pot here. Just want to measure my fruit. So pretty much know how much sugar I want to use, but just want to make sure I'm kind of in the right place. So it's 344 grams, which is kind of a good. I was thinking it's going to be around 300 because I wanted to use the sugar halfway. So 344, it works for me fantastic. What this means, we're going to the sugar. We're done with the cutting, so I don't need this board anymore. I'll just pop her on the side here. Yeah, with a knife away. We don't need any more. So let's put here for the sugar, level it up, and this is what's gonna happen. Somebody's been digging in this sugar to make a coffee. There's a coffee bean inside. Haha. Anyway, apologies. Probably need a drink, but it's too early. Okay, I'm filming just before lunch now, so just give me a second. Right, so we're gonna use 150 grams of sugar combined with the coconut and the golden one, just because we have, let's say, 300 grams of fruit, and that's just perfect for me. Half of this is going in a sugar, okay? Bear with me here, you see the math, it's working very nicely. So 100 grams of the golden sugar. So we're gonna measure all in one pot, there we go. 104, it's okay. And 50 grams of the coconut sugar. Okay, so let's put another 50. So we have 150 grams of sugar. This is gonna match what you're going to have in liquid form. 150 milliliter of liquid, okay? In this case, as I mentioned earlier, we have 100 milliliter of water, and we are going to use 50 milliliter of rum. The honey, it doesn't come to the equation. The honey, it's more like just to introduce the honey flavor to the syrup. So, I'll say here, this is a personal preference. I will put 30 milliliter, which is around 1 ounce, just to have this kind of a honey on the back end. If you want to be more honey, the syrup, put more honey, okay? But bear in mind, it will introduce extra sweetness, so you may need to lower down your sugar, okay? You may need to go like with 120 grams of sugar. What's going on with me? I'm gonna need something to drink probably. Anyway, I will make it until we put it in the sous vide. Then I'll refresh. So yeah, so bear in mind, the liquid, it's always kind of a matching the sugar. So if we have 600 grams of the fruit, we're gonna go with 300 grams of the sugar, which is gonna be 200 grams of the goat sugar and 100 grams of the coconut sugar. This is gonna be 250 milliliter of water and 50 milliliter of rum. Or if you wanna add more rum to the equation, do 200 milliliter of water, 100 milliliter of rum. Does that make sense? So always get the fruit first, measure it, half the sugar, half the liquid, and then adjust to your liking which sugar you want to be more dominant and which liquid you want to be more dominant. If you want to go more rum, hey, I'm not going to judge you, but you're going to have a lovely persimmons liqueur based on rum, which is fine. I mean, if you want liqueur, have a liqueur. I'm not going to stop you. I'm getting you the cooking process, then you decide what you want to do. So yeah, we have the sugars, we have the water. We're ready to bake. So first I'm gonna pop the sugar inside in my bag. Wonderful. Then I'm gonna add a half a stick, there you go, just a half a stick of cinnamon and the 3 whole cloves inside. Add the fruit, which is gonna be a little bit challenging, but hey, let's see. There you go. Come on, get in. I'm I'm gonna pop my sous vide to start cooking. I should have done this earlier because obviously, you know, the sous vide, let me see. The sous vide should be on 65 Celsius. I will put the Fahrenheit here straight away in the floating text on the bottom or whatever. I'll decide, but you'll see it in Fahrenheit. And this is gonna go for 1 hour, okay? Fabulous. Now, I should have put this earlier because obviously the water inside is like 20 degrees. The sous vide, how it's work, it's taking the water to the required level and then you put your things to cook. However, we'll make this with the magic of editing, okay? So the fruit is in. Now, honey, as I mentioned, just so I'm gonna do this in the pot here because I don't want this bag to go everywhere. First, we're gonna start with the honey. So let me grab one of my jiggers. As I mentioned, I'm gonna be going with 30 ml or 1 ounce of honey. That'll be more than enough for me. And I could have just eyeballed it, but I just want to go precisely to be kind of a, you know, close to what I'm actually offering you as a recipe. Okay, now always put the honey first and then use the same jigger and add your 50 ml of rum. Now if you don't use the rum here, you can add some of the water and I'll explain why, because obviously you're gonna have some honey stick inside and you don't want to lose it. The easiest way to do it is use first the honey, then when you put your rum or the water, you can give it like a little gentle stir. I know you need a patience, okay? Because I don't know, if your honey is a very kind of a runny and it's not that thick like mine, maybe you don't need to do that. But in my case here, I need to because this honey, it's a very, very thick. And from this 30 milliliter, believe it or not, probably 5 ml, it's stick inside the jigger on the walls and I'm just gonna lose it or wash it, and that is just a kind of a, I don't like it. The bees work very hard for this honey, so I don't want to lose any of it. I want to use everything. Pretty good, okay? So we're gonna add the 50 ml of the rum. See, honey still dripping. But that's better, right? And finally, our 100 milliliter of water. Then the other ingredients which we need is just, now this is not measurement here or anything. I usually do just kind of like a half of bar spoon, which it's basically you can do a half of a teaspoon inside. Just pop it in. There you go. As I mentioned, if you don't have the vanilla paste, you can get vanilla extract, which is going to be even easier for you because it's clear, so you can just drop a few drops inside. Be careful because depends of the extract, could be very strong. You don't want to overpower everything, but you want to introduce this vanilla flavor inside. And just to bond everything and to give it a more chance to the persimmons and all the flavors to bond together, we're going to get the magic ingredient, salt. Just a pinch, literally look. Just a pinch inside, you don't need more. You don't want to salt the syrup. All you need to do is use the magic of the salt to bond everything together. And simple as that, okay? So I'll put this on the side, get my lovely sealing machine. Let's switch it on. Okay, where is it? Fabulous. Now try to get as much of the air out possible, okay? To do this, I'm not gonna lie down on the table because some of the liquid is gonna try to get out. So sorry, I'm giving you the back of this, but I need to, what you can do two ways. you can put this higher and put the back in water so it compress, or you can just compress it and leave it to hang out of the edge of the table, so you have the compressed part of the back really flat on the table, which obviously is going to stop any air coming in, because you want to kind of get as much air out of the system, okay? And just seal it. So it depends of your sealer. Some of them have like a moist, dry. Just seal it. If you put on moist, it may start sucking some of the liquid. If you put on dry, it's gonna compress it really hard and you won't have any air inside available to kind of develop the syrup, okay? If I'm looking too much high, it's just got a new screen on top of the camera so I can see myself, and I'm kind of catching myself that I'm looking not the lens but there, so apologies for that. Anyway, get as much air out as possible and just seal your back, okay? If you are using a zip back, I don't know how it's possible to take out most of the air inside, but give it a try, okay? Just give it a try. There you go. See, it's kind of most of it is gone out. So that's ready. We don't need that anymore. So yeah, I think we did everything. Now it's basically, soon my sous vide reach to 65 degrees. I will pop the back inside. Let me just move it here anyway. I will pop the back inside and I will cook it for an hour. So obviously, what can we do for an hour? What should I do? Nah, I'm joking. So we're gonna cut here and I'll be back soon this is ready to filtrate the syrup and maybe blend the rest of it and make the puree. I think we'll do that. Yeah, I'll see you very shortly, my friends. Okay, my friends, and just like that, magic happened. 1 hour, it's over, and our persimmons, it's cooked, ready to get out, and obviously filtrate the syrup. And I decide we're gonna blend the fruit to make the puree as well. So why not? Why not? We are filming already, we have it ready. Why just don't do it? So what needs to happen here? Be careful, because this is gonna be hot. It's 65 Celsius inside, so it's gonna be hot. One thing I forgot to mention, and I always forgot to mention, when you're doing in the sous vide, during the cooking process, 1 or 2 times, make sure you take out the back and give it a little swirl so you can help the sugar to melt quicker. Otherwise, it's gonna drop on the bottom and it's gonna be rock hard. You can do it on the very end as well, but at least once, okay? At least once, give it a little shake so you can kind of get it melted. So I'm gonna move this on the side, and I will not switch it off because we need it, okay? But I'll explain why. So let's get first the actual final product. There you go. Look at that. Beautiful liquid inside, dark brown. Such a nice dark color. It's just amazing. Fabulous. Okay, anyway, let's open it and get the liquid out. So I'm gonna use this big sieve. It's quite bigger than the actually what I anticipate, but hey. So I'm gonna cut this nicely. I mean, probably using scissors is the best, but hey. So first of all, very slowly, we're gonna pour out our syrup. Try not to get as many fruits in the sieve. Obviously, if happen, it happened. But just try to get the liquid first. Okay. So this is gonna stop any small sediment, any of the cloth, of the cinnamon, if it's breakthrough. Then I need this little pot. I'm gonna move the sieve here. Let the syrup on the side. Now it's entirely up to you. If you want to do a double strain of this syrup, if you wanna put it through a coffee filter, which is gonna take you a little bit because obviously it's more thick than just the water, you can do that. you won't have any big bits because obviously we just use cinnamon stick and a cloves. Nothing is grated, nothing is in powder. The only thing which may kind of affect you a little bit is the seeds from the vanilla paste. Now, if that is something which bothering you, I'll suggest, yeah, run it through a coffee filter. If you're not bothered about it, they're very extremely tiny seeds and you're going to use this syrup in a very small amount in a cocktails, it won't affect much, okay? So it's entirely up to you, that's personal preference. I don't think I'll bother with this one, but hey, it's, you know me. If you want to do it, you do it. Now, we're going to get this out, the fruits. And, of course, we need to remove the cinnamon stick, possibly, and any of the cloves. We have only 3. It's not a big deal if we blend them after, because they will be literally blended. We're going to be doing fine sieve as well after that, but in the first instance, if you can do it, it's better. So I've got 2, I will find the other one. Anyway, the syrup is going on the side for now, while we get ready to do a little bit more of cooking here. So I brought the blender, okay? There you go. So let's get this blender done. It doesn't need to be switched on yet because we have a little bit of messy work to do first, okay? Right. So I'm gonna get the fruit inside. Ready to go. Try to avoid, if any of the cinnamon is break and you have in the sieve, try to avoid not putting it inside in the blender. There we go. Get the last few pieces like that. Fabulous. Yeah, I have a little bit left inside, as you can see. These things can just go away. We don't want them. Okay. Beautiful. Next step, we gotta add the sugar and a little bit of water. So I'm gonna measure the sugar again. As we mentioned before, we have around 340 grams of the fruit. It may change a little bit now because it's being cooked, but that doesn't matter. We're gonna go with a half of the sugar, and this time I only use a golden sugar or demerara. I will be going with 150 grams of the sugar. We're not gonna put any coconut sugar here. We're not gonna put any spices. This is gonna be purely the persimmons and whatever flavor they took from the cinnamon or the cloves. They will have a little bit in them, but it will be a basically lighter version because it's gonna be like a puree, so it won't be that rich like the syrup which we did, okay? Still fairly good to use. Okie dokie. So we have 150 grams of the sugar. Pop it in the blender. The fruit is hot, so it's gonna help with obviously melting the sugar anyway. And as I mentioned before, whatever it's the amount of sugar, it's the same amount of water. So 150 grams or 150 milliliters. We'll pop it in. Pop it in? Pop it in? No, just pour it in. I don't know. Sorry about my French. You know, I'm still learning after all these years. Anyway, let's close. And I need to switch on the and let's blend. Fabulous. Nice and quick. Now, a little trick. If you have one of these soup makers, blenders, use it, because what needs to happen here is we're going to get this mixture again in one of our Sous bags. Yeah. Pop it back in the water bath for another like 15-20 minutes, okay? So let me just take the knives, it'll be easier. Perfect, so good, right, very very careful when you're pouring. You don't want anything to go out of the back, you want everything in. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, I can't help it, okay? Sorry, I can't help. It's so tasty. So let's seal that. Okay. Don't leave the back anywhere because it's gonna go all over your working plot or whatever you're using. That can go here because this is going to go for a washing. Everything perfect. So this you don't need to take out the air. Just all you need to do is just seal it. So you can safely put it inside in the water bath and cook it for another 15-20 minutes. And you'll be done with your puree to strain after and enjoying it. So, okay, wonderful. That's done. I'm just gonna pop it on the side in the water bath. You know the drill. You don't need to watch that. All I'm interested at the moment before we cut to the final puree situation is to bottle my syrup and obviously give it a try. So, need a bottle. Get one of my pretty bottles. Now this syrup, because you have the rum inside, you have a good content of sugar, you have honey, it will be shelf life stable for a long. I can't predict exactly because obviously every fridge is different. In my fridge, my syrup staying over a month. Like if you remember when we did the fig syrup or the mango, I'm still using them, okay? That's been, what, over a month now. Definitely over a month because this is nearly 2 months, so we've done, this is the fig bitter, we did the fig syrup then. So on 10th of November, it's gonna be 2 months. I'm still using the syrup. So the way how it's cooked and prepared is giving a fantastic long shelf life. So this syrup definitely is gonna go over a month. And a quick update on the fig bitters. Yeah, we are a month away and they are absolutely delicious. And when I'm saying they are absolutely delicious, oh, trust me, I've already tried. I can't wait to bottle them, but I will wait for another month. Also, I will probably make an announcement again, but I'm planning to make a bigger batch and potentially do a pre-order list. So if any of you is interested to get these bitters delivered and use it, I will announce when it's ready to pre-order and get your hands on a limited batch of fig bitters, okay? For now, let's bottle the syrup. So let's do that. Oh, look at that color. Obviously the color became like dark because of the coconut sugar and the cloves and the cinnamon and a bit of the vanilla. But it's absolutely delish. Oh. Oh. Ooh, 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 ooh. I need a little spoon. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Definitely gonna do it. Oh, that's just amazing. It tastes a little bit like chocolate. I'm not joking. It's so good. I mean, this little persimmon became this wonderful dark, rich on flavor syrup. You can't even feel the rum. It is there. It's gonna preserve it and it's gonna help with the shelf life. But in the overall cooking situation, that's just beautiful. And then what we're cooking here on the side, obviously, is the puree. We'll get back to that just in a second. Okay, my lovely friends, it's time to shut down everything. We are done. Okay, so we've did the syrup. I'll show you again very shortly. But first, I want to get my wonderful puree syrup ready and bottled. I keep forgetting that I don't actually need knife or a fork here because these bags, the way how they're made, they're so easy to open. Keep forgetting. People think about that and make our life easier. So, I'm gonna run it through a sieve, which is gonna take a little time if you just leave it like that, but not in our case, okay? And I'll explain why. So as you can see, it's not gonna go much, so I'm gonna help with my spatula. All you need to do with this puree, because you don't want the hard bits. Obviously, when you blend it, you're gonna have the outside of the fruit, yeah, which it's quite hard, the skin. So it needs to be extremely strong blender to make everything really, really smooth. So all I'm gonna do is help, and that take a little time. So it's kind of a patient game. Take your time and do it, and you'll be fine. So yeah, again, I'll see you in a second. Okay, I'm happy with that. I could extract probably a few more drops, which is, yeah, if you see, if I'm still pressing, it'll be fine. Just because I'm doing the video now and I don't want to make it like a forever, that's what you have left. Don't throw this paste, yeah? Like, I mean, it's entirely up to you. But if you want, you can use it in some like pancakes or do anything. It's edible, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, don't just waste it. You can still use it. I'll leave this on the side so I can bottle that. Obviously this time I'm gonna use a funnel because I don't particularly trust this glass pot. And I'm gonna bottle my syrup puree. Let's put it that way. Let's try. Oh ho ho. Now that's totally different than this. Okay, we don't need this towel anymore. Yeah. So you get the exact same amount as you can see, pretty much. I will leave that to keep releasing some of the juice, and I'll definitely gonna pop in the bottle after straight away. But that's what you get. So from 2 fruits, 2 persimmons, we get 2 different syrups. I can't wait to try this in a lovely old fashioned with rum. That is gonna be yum. But I will be thinking about something else as well, because trust me, smells delicious. This smells more like a grassy, if I can put it this way, because we kind of extract most of the flavor to this syrup, but we still get a lovely, lovely, nice flavor here because we have the sugar inside, okay? So yeah, that's it from me this week, my lovely friends. Don't forget the Bartender's Lounge. Don't forget the Patreon. Don't forget to check Just Shake or Stir website for other news and things from Mixology hacks. Just don't forget to check things. And don't forget, you can always comment, share, like, subscribe, and stay in touch. But the easiest way, as I say before, and I'll keep saying it, to get in touch with me or get involved and learn and exchange ideas, it's the Bartender's Lounge. So make sure you join, okay? It's free. It's absolutely free. All you need to do is just sign up. Simple as that. Okay, I'll see you next time with another video. Until then, stay safe, go get some persimmons and start making some lovely autumn winter syrups. All right? Love you all. Bye-bye.